Alright, Chapter 5 Joint Bulk Petroleum Logistics. Unleash us from the tether of fuel. General James T. Mathis, United States Marine Corps, during the 2003 tours of the Commanding General, 1st Marine Division of the Operation Iraqi Freedom. Interjection. Joint Petroleum Office, the primary responsibility synchronizing fuel requirements throughout the Joint Force by designating the sub-area Petroleum Office, subordinate command, joint staff of the Joint Petroleum Office, and enhance the ability to control outcomes of the support for the planning and execution of the operation. Joint Bulk Petroleum Logistics emphasizes the unity of the effort, integrating the knowledge experience with the service multinational agency of the other organization capabilities, permits logistics exercise operation, provide oversight, fuse information, leverage technology scenario depicting the sum of the organization roles, action, planning of the successful bulk petroleum support, presenting the paying C of the petroleum scenario. The following section describes in more detail the participation roles of managing bulk petroleum logistics. Authorities, responsibilities, and role. The integrated material management and exercise of the Department of Defense level, the management responsibility Federal Supply Group, or class commodity of the item for a single agency with the normal include with the computation of the requirements, finding of the budgeting, storing, issuing, cataloging, standardization, processing function of the integrated material management program management. Underlie with the principle of the Joint Bulk Petroleum Doctrine and the integrated material management, both support of the influence of Joint Bulk Petroleum Logistics understands its importance. The Undersecretary of Defense Acquisition Technology Logistics, the responsibility establishing policies of the management of the bulk petroleum stock facilities and for the providing guidance for the Department of Defense agencies, joint staff services. In addition, with the Undersecretary of Defense Acquisition Technology and Logistics, responsible resource of maintaining area of the petroleum laboratories, where it has the authority to test sample the petroleum products submitted by the quality assurance, quality surveillance coordination of the military department and agency. The department under the Secretary of Defense of Logistics Material Readiness serves as the central administrator for the energy management of the integrated material management oversight responsibility fuel products. Undersecretary of Defense for the Comptroller Coordination of the U.S. Undersecretary of Defense Acquisition Technology and Logistics is responsible for establishing financial policy guidelines for the management of bulk petroleum products. The Department of Defense published the Energy of the Warfighter Operational Energy Strategy for the 2011, the transformer the way of the arms for the consume the energy of the military operation. The strategy set direction operational energy of the office, the Secretary of Defense, of the Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, the Joint Staff of the Commander of the Military Department, the Department of Defense Agencies, Department of Defense Directive 418001, Department of Defense Energy Policy establishes policy guidelines assigned with the responsibility for the energy planning, use and management of the Department of Defense. The Assistant Secretary of Defense Operational Energy Plan Program and designee for the Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff, Co-Chair Chair of the Defense for the Operational Energy Board, promote operational energy security oversight of the implementation strategy for the measure of the Department access over the Assistant Secretary of Defense Operational Energy plans and programs, also provided directly with the combat command and facility initiatives that reduce energy consumption. The Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff of the Coordinated Defense Logistics Agency Energy over the combat command to resolve petroleum issues. The joint JSJ4 with the primary agent of the Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff of all bulk petroleum matters. Key responsibility JSJ4 influence joint petroleum principle with the effect of the operation effects. Acts as a focal point of the joint bulk petroleum doctrine. Make recommendations to the Department of Defense wartime final fuel sourcing and pre-position Department of DOS, the prescribed combat commander procedure for the reporting bulk petroleum, provide fuel input with the joint strategic capability plans, review fuels planning that provide with the operational plans. Alright, your Joint Petroleum Office, the sub-area Petroleum Office of the GCC with the debris, the diamond, the fuel, for the responsible for the theater, and is responsible for the discharge of the Joint Petroleum Office, the Joint Petroleum Office, the work of the junction, strip of the composition, sub-area Petroleum Office of the Defense of Logistics Agency, Energy, with a plan with the coordinate oversee with all the favor of the bulk petroleum support with the U.S. with the other organization directed with the employee with the plan for possible employment in the theater, Joint Petroleum Office, the tactical have with the mix of the mix of service, the representative of the operational requirement made to dictate the establishment of the sub-area petroleum office support with the subordinate joint force commander. However, the consideration shall be given to the operational area with the expected mission support with the force consumption sustainment requirements of this when selecting sub-area petroleum office. A sub-area petroleum office is a sub-office of the Joint Petroleum Office established for the combat commander of the Joint Force Commander of the joint, usually in the Joint Petroleum Office recommendation. Fill the bulk petroleum planning execution matter for the section of the theater of the Joint Petroleum Office. The responsible theater may have more than sub-area petroleum office, sub-area petroleum office normally required to have. conform and administer the technical procedures established for the Combat Commander of the Department of Defense 414025 Manual of the Department of Defense Manual Bulk Petroleum Product Natural Gas Coal Acquisition Technology be under the operation of the Joint Force Joint Force Command. And then it goes into Key Petroleum Responsibility Combat Commander of the Joint Petroleum Office, and we'll start from the top. Alright, plan coordinate with the receiver, the server, the distribution, petroleum product within the theater for the coordination for the defense for the logistics agency for the commander, coordinate, validate, prioritize petroleum, military construction, provide petroleum logistic plan with the policy guideline component with the commander, negotiate, coordinate with the defense for the logistics agency, formal host nation support, coordinate the development, the relief, the line for the coordination, petroleum planning, information measuring, the temporary operational control of the defense for the logistics agency, energy elements, oversee with the major emergency of the coordinate with the memorandum of understanding, coordinate joint petroleum office the use of the available stocks in the theater. The support of the regional contingency, direct tactical movement of the fuel being available to any sort of the component in the theater, plan coordinate with the use of the captured abandoned enemy bulk fuel assets, coordinate with the defensive logistic energy with the multinational petroleum support, and ensure the fuel requirements of operation restraint the constraint for the adjust of the fuel annex, the operational plans, establish leads, service of the agents responsible for the common class 3 support, appropriate for each support of the joint operation release, reallocate theater war reserves and emergency, validate service component bulk fuel requirements and the additives required in wartime during contingency operation. Design coordinate with the defense logistics agency between military and contract fuel support. Integrate with the theater assessment with the force protection measure into petroleum planning operation. Ensure the component of the defense logistics agency energy has the robust quality assurance program that sells predominant fuel. Alright, these key duties responsible for the sub-area of the Petroleum Office include the following: provide with the Joint Force of the staff of the Petroleum Logistic Plan with a policy, provide with the ship of the component with the command with the Joint Force Command, Petroleum Logistic Plan with a policy, plan with directive for the concern with the management, accountability, operation of the quality, assurance of the petroleum and activity of the operational area, prepare petroleum input with the Joint Force Command, or supporting plan with the developing daily demand with the profile with the petroleum supply with the distribution plan, operation order, established with the direction of line of communication with the combat command with the Joint Petroleum Office concerning all aspects of the petroleum activities. State with the bulk petroleum requirement through the combat command, Joint Petroleum Office, defense for the logistic agency, energy they obtain with the Department of Defense, stock, local, commercial, local government, host government resource with the defense for logistic energy, contractor coverage of the trip of the country level, the country field agreements. Support the contingency the repo and was required by the commanding of the Joint Petroleum Office. Assign Joint Petroleum Office the priority of the vibe of the Combat Commander, Joint Petroleum Office, Defense for Logistics, Energy, Military Construction, and Sustainable Restoration Modernization Project of the petroleum facility. Validate existing quality of the local inventory of the estimated DOS and the hand the method of quality of the daily resupply with capability of the product. Coordinate the drive of the Combat Command with the Joint Petroleum Office, control the local petroleum capabilities, establish the Joint Force Command, the requirements coordinate with the Joint Petroleum Office, defense of logistic energy with the lease storage, and related activity operational area. Coordinate with the host nation, local commercial entity to determine the availability of the commodity capability with the support bulk petroleum operational requirements. Identify submit with the IAW, the current host nation, the agreement with the host nation with the petroleum support. Supervise bulk petroleum operation, coordinate with the commercial source with the host nation governance of the use of the tanker loading offloading facilities. Coordinate the Department of Defensive Logistics Agency, Energy with the Combat Commander, Joint Petroleum Office for the server of the components of the bulk petroleum storage. Manager of the made visible with the bulk petroleum operation. Maintain operational petroleum delivery with requirements for the server of the component. Petroleum managers maintain visibility with the bulk petroleum operation. Consolidate component delivery requirement of the federal with the Defense for Logistics Agency. Coordinated the quality assurance program activities with the Joint Force Command under the emergency condition with the allocation of the bulk of the petroleum facility. Coordinated with the component control point with the recommended with the relief of the reallocation of the wartime reserve stock. Notify the JSJ4 with the combat commander Joint Petroleum with the P-war reserve stock will be penetrated, provide with the plan with the reconstitution level to include the time frame with the levels and cover to maintain through the knowledge understand the joint force operational plans and orders content for the supporting forces concept of the operational support by the inland petroleum deployment plan for each operational plan and order. Coordination, allocation, construction, inland petroleum distribution system assets, track and account for all the ground fuel movements, area of operations to include the deliveries, non-capitalized locations, sub-area petroleum office cannot comply with the tank of the requirements of sub-area petroleum office is notified with the complete deliveries and any of the diversion en route with establishing the absence of the sub-area petroleum offices. The reporting requirements would be remain at the Joint Petroleum Office. Alright, 4. Service component of the third theater bulk petroleum organization. Each service provided with the product handling with the operational location for the service component with all fuels and issue of the appropriate with the joint petroleum office, over area of the petroleum office, the defensive logistic agency, energy during operation, include with the exercise of the deployment to ensure the efficiency, avoid the duplication, and effort the normally used Army will provide the distribution of bulk petroleum within the theater. With the increase of the contract support with the service must consistently review the responsibility of the tactical petroleum function with the defensive logistic agency, energy normally delivers the point to end which additive is already introduced with the commercial add available fuels, but in most cases, the some extreme austere environment is delivered forward may not be possible, and like with the contractor to be also provided with the military specification fuel for the operational area during the earlier stages inland based on operation contingency with a short duration, therefore an operative that may be that the service pertaining with land-based operation have the capability to inject needed additive to the commercial field, the defensive logistic agency, energy and service that can arrange the deliver mill spec fuels, contract support with the injection, include equipment training and training and technical ability with the injective additives. Further join and serve the plan should know about these specific special requirements and additives. Inspection, sampling, testing, and documentation required with each of the service agencies to assure the quality of the product of the reserve. Received, stored, issued, and used the applicable to serve the military specification, custodian, responsible for the development and maintenance of the petroleum product and specification, and support aviation ground fuels to perform petroleum support mission. Each service is responsible for its items shown figure 5.2. For additional information, quality assurance, quality surveillance for the Chief of the Department of Defense 414025, the Department of Management of the Bulk Petroleum Product with Natural Gas, Coal Acquisition Technology, Military Stand 3004, Quality Assurance and Surveillance of the Fuel Lubrication Related Products, Army. U.S. Army normally provides the management overland petroleum support, including inland waterways. U.S. land-based forces of all the Department of Defense component of the USA. U.S. Army provide with the necessary force of the structure and install, operate with the protected tactical petroleum storage distribution system, including pipelines in the theater, with the responsible include with the providing support and system of the transport bulk and petroleum inland with the high water mark of the designated ocean beach, inland and outland petroleum distribution systems. Air Force, U.S. Air Force maintain the capability to provide the tactical support to U.S. Air Force units to improve the Austria location. Also provide a distribution bulk petroleum products by air with immediate support within its need of the remote location. U.S. Air Force satisfy the requirement of the Air Force ABFTS aerial bulk delivery ABFTS alternate capability equipment for the delivery directly to. Then it shows. Figure 5.2, petroleum responsibility of service. The petroleum responsibility of service. Operate petroleum facility under service ownership. Implement fuel standardization policy. Assistant defense logistic agency and selection of the assignment of the prior to fuel military construction project with the provide base level of technology. And will support the Defense Logistics Agency funded with the maintenance and repair of the construction fuel facilities. Man, serve the unique of the theater of the sound bulk petroleum transportation assets. Compute wartime petroleum demands based on the combat and the commander operation plan, wartime fuel consumption rates, and war with the reserve of the requirements of that location. Establish daily wartime demand and profile. Organize training equipment of fuel support forces to serve the requiring fuel additives that having been able to obtain the necessary training and equipment to put additives in bulk fuel, Austria environment to validate service the bulk fuel requirements. Alright, aviation asset with additional airflow. Air Force can accomplish forward air with the petroleum support with the wet wing refueling operation after large airfield. The U.S. Air Force provides field support equipment that is supporting expanding aircraft. U.S. Navy provide the seaward overshore bulk petroleum product for the high water mark of the U.S. Sea base for the land-based forces for all DoD components. U.S. Navy to maintain the capability of the providing bulk petroleum support with the enabled forces afloat and ashore with the include the U.S. Coast Guard forces assigned to the Department of Defense Marine Corps. The U.S. Marine Corps maintain the capability to provide with the bulk petroleum support to its units. In addition, the Marine Corps can be tasked with provide petroleum support to any joint force or multinational force directed by the Joint Force Command. Coast Guard. The Coast Guard coordinates the petroleum requirements with the Navy, with the designated, with the delegated from the Navy to the Coast Guard. Coast Guard performs roles and functions of joint fuel logistics supply point, managing the joint bulk petroleum supply chain. The director, director of the logistics agency with the responsible for immediately designated with the petroleum support requirement of the Department of Defense. The component of the functional responsibility have been delegated To the Director of Defense Logistics Agency, Energy, include procurement, ownership of quality assurance, quality surveillance, accountability, budgeting, distribution, bullets from petroleum stocks, and point of sale. Defense Logistics Agency, Energy manages a bulk petroleum supply chain with the source of supply with the point of the customer over the Department of Defense executive agent and integrated material management, inland material management of the bulk petroleum. Integrated material management of the bulk petroleum. The responsibility mandate with the Defense of Logistics Energy exercise with the total of the Department of Defense level. The management responsibility of the bulk petroleum include with the requirements funding with the budgeting, storing, issuing, cataloging, standardization, procuring function of the roles of the Joint Petroleum Officer, Sub-Area Petroleum Officer for the component of the Defense Logistics Agency. Energy have become more integrated with the due of the ownership of the Department of Defense bulk petroleum and expand with the role of the Defense Logistics Agency. Energy support with the support the warfighter. Key function of the Defense Logistics Agency. Energy with the influence joint bulk petroleum principle for the effect of the operation include the following: procure fuel to meet U.S. military requirements of the peacetime of the war, make effort to purchase commercial military specification fuel plan, program, budget, fund, facility maintenance, repair, construction, new fuel, facilities, administrative funds, maintenance, repair, construction, and eligible environmental remediation project coordination services with the combat commanders. Alright, 4. Plan program budget for the funding of the contract of the storage and associated services include the refueling vehicle with the equipment, the aircraft, service contract appropriate with the bulk petroleum and support. Negotiate with the conclude international agreement in conjunction with the combat commander to provide bulk petroleum support overseas. 6. Develop contingency support plan concert with the support of the concern with the supporter command with the required with the necessary petroleum product of the storage service to provide technical support with the applicable military custodian responsible for the development and management of the petroleum product specification. 8. Allocation resource for the post-time war reserve report compute operating standards requirements over the develop the IMP with the identify with the inventory level of the storage and cover requirements. 9. Develop the annual quantity of the bulk with the petroleum war reserve stocking coordination with the services with the combat commanders. Continuously evaluate the petroleum market with the Office of Secretary of Defense, Joint Staff with the service of the resupply of the issue critical to the peacetime wartime operation planning with adjusting with the Department DOS recommendation augmenting safety levels of the products and location with the commercial market base so they cannot reach the surge of demand. Acquire necessary petroleum product storage of the services with the AOR, including non-tactical refueling vehicles, equipment, and refueling contracts of the support military requirements. Ensure delivery of the Class 3 bulk petroleum closely possible with the piece for the intent with the due for the increased responsible expect with delivered by the contract addressing force protection issue support with the combat commander. Assume management of the wholesale bulk petroleum facilities from the combat commander, joint petroleum office sub-area petroleum office required with the support of the U.S. forces in nature for the mature theater. Establish regional officer for the facility with a practical, reasonable decision. Ensure the expeditious delivery of the fuel product. Each of the service of the defense logistics agency. Establish a regional agency of the maintain the close with the contact customer. Ensure particular needs are considered when playing fuel support with the defense and general defensive logistics agency. Regional defense offices coordinate delivery of the industry. Resolve the logistic problem of the supply of emergency product with the quality assurance of the management activity coordinated with the maintenance repair projects assisted with the joint petroleum office. Petroleum logistic planning during the emergency defense for logistic agency. Energy may also play additional liaison officers at the appropriate command levels. Alright, 6. Your Commander of the United States Transportation Command. The Commander of the U.S. Transportation Command plan for the provide air and land and sea for the transportation fuel with the Department of Defense for during the peacetime and wartime. The efforts will supplement and not replace the primary responsibility for the time of the service of the supplement, not services and the Department of Defense of the Logistics Agency, especially with regard to the intratheater inland fuel movement and distribution. Other bulk responsibilities include to develop a long-range plan coordinated with the combat commander, joint petroleum office, the petroleum support with the intertheater mission contingency operation with worldwide monitoring of the en route military construction projects, overseeing validating fuel data reporting requirements by Air Mobility Command, Military Sea Command, and Combat Commander of the Joint Petroleum Office of the U.S. Transportation Command. Representative of the commander of the U.S. Transportation Command on all petroleum water-related issues with the U.S. Transportation Command. Components are key duties to U.S. Transportation Command and Joint Petroleum Office include the following: prepare planning policies, procedure for the executing military petroleum operations relating to supporting U.S. transportation strategic mission, develop long-range sustainment plan with the petroleum support with the U.S. Transportation Command intra-theater mission, contingency operation worldwide. Review long-range plan with the position of petroleum assets. Serve as the evaluating member of the Defense Logistics Agency Installation Planning and the Review Board, providing command recommendations of the budgetary expenditure of the out-year military construction project. Oversee, validate all fuel data reporting of the Air Mobility Command and the Military Sea Lift Command. Assist Warfighter Command with the subsequent fuel-related priorities. Participate in all standing en route infrastructure steering committee and analyzing fuel-related issues. Coordinate with the Joint Petroleum Office conflict requirements. Alright, 7. Multinational partners. Negotiations can either occur within the host nation under the auspices of the acquisition cross-service agreement of the standalone and international agreement. The acquisition cross-servicing agreement is usually negotiated with the combat commander authorized by the acquisition cross-servicing authority. Title 10 U.S. Standard Code sections 234 1 to 235 0. Department of Defense of Logistics Energy, delegated by the Department of Defense through the Defense of Logistics Agency with their approval. Overall responsibility of the negotiating, including amending an international agreement to petroleum support. Standalone international agreement is usually negotiated with the Defense of Logistics Agency and services through appropriate U.S. embassies. Authorized by the Department of Defense Directive 5533, International Agreement. The directive provided with the base of the following guidelines, except with superseded by law. Fuel exchange agreement to negotiate with the foreign government to provide fuel support with improve the relation between the U.S. and foreign military with these agreement to product with the supply with a reciprocal base for the eve of the exchange of the fuel with the cash payment between the military organization from both country with the agreement of the operational tool to enhance the sustainability of the readiness because of the country routinely train and support each other. The replacement of the kind with the transaction dealing directly with the government of these eligibility country with the provide material. The service of the logistics exchange material service with the equal value for the items accountable to the future and reimbursement controlment initial provide without charge of the cost for these items for the current value with the capture for the future reimbursement. Joint Force Command with the comptroller to develop the implement the procedure within coordinate with the logistic element with the track of the value support provide with the ensure the equal exchange with the valued material services throughout the operation. Particular care must be taken in accounting for the authorized exchange due to the political sensitivity inherent with the multinational operations. Replacement in kind. A transaction should derive no monetary gain, should provide a mutual benefit equity between participating countries. Are your contract and agreements blanket purchase agreement? The blanket purchase agreement should be considered the following anticipated repetitive needs of the supply of the service of the stated time period. Individual blanket purchase agreement should not exceed simplified acquisition threshold for the exemption of the commercial item purchase, which may be substantially larger for current ceilings of the Federal Acquisition Regulation Part 13. Into-plane, into-truck contracts circumstance frequently requiring refueling military aircraft with a commercial airport with a military facility and personnel are not available to minimize commercial costs with ensure the quality product will be available. The into-plane with the contract may be established. One support of the combat component defined with the requirements of the contract negotiate with the Defense Logistics Energy Agency Energy with the into-plane contract guarantee for the quality of the product does not guarantee the specific quantity of the product. Any of the service commander, combat commander with the federal agency may require the Defense Logistics Agency Energy establish an into-plane contract. Non-contracted fuel purchase may be made with the civilian airports using aviation into-plane reimbursement of the commonly known as the air card, where the Defense Logistics Energy has not established the into-plane with a contract with an into-truck. Contracts similar to into-plane contracts can be used to fill service the contracted vehicle for the distribution customer, not at the airfield. Service can be established off-site storage facilities to meet the requirements of the around-the-clock. They're not tied to the operational hours of the airport with the type of the contracts advantage of the established commercial resupply capabilities of the airport, meeting non-aircraft requirements. Alright, your initial support deploying service in January 2005 with the Defense Energy Support Center that has into-plane with a fueling contract with 188 airports outside of the U.S. The contract to provide with the fuel service with 103 foreign countries. Provide with the foundation fuel support with the rapid deploying force for the annual contract quantity of exceed 284 billion gallons of the aviation fuel. This contract provides the mechanism of the rapid expansion of the fuel support with the contingency operation worldwide. Many of these airports do not provide with the JP8, only 22.3% of the contract quality of the GP8, while with the vast majority of the 67.2 over 190 million gallons under the contract with JA1 without FS2 fuel system ice inhibitor or CIL1 corrosion inhibitor or lubrication improver. Russian commercial fuels designated TS1 made of 10.5% of the Defense Energy Support Center energy plane contract quantities. Most of the commercial airports outside of the United States do not offer Jet A1 over the A fuel system ice inhibitor with the corrosion inhibitor and lubricity inhibitor because the commercial additives do not want these additives in the fuel as they use because the additives are surface of the active agents, surfactants that can interfere with the ability of filtration systems to remove water from the jet fuel. In addition to consuming 190 million gallons of the commercial Jet A1 with FS2 and CI1 and LY from Intel plane contracts, the United States Air Force Central Command activities issued 106 million gallons of Jet A1 without fuel system ice inhibitor over the corrosion inhibitor, lubrication inhibitor, coalition aircraft over the calendar year of the 2003. Most of the unadditized fuel is airlift aircraft, while the location primarily for the fighter of the aircraft, the injector of activity additives to the fuel during the receipt of the bulk petroleum storage of the additives that were injected with the maximum capability of the additives of equipment. Personal resources allowed, nevertheless, 107 million gallons of Jet A1 without fuel system ice inhibitor, corrosion inhibitor, lubricator, and never issued bulk of unauthorized, unadditized fuel going to aircraft. And that was the Air Force Petroleum Office Fuel Capability Study with addition, deletion, cost, and benefit analysis, September 2005. Your bunker contract. The Defense of Logistic Energy bunker contract has been established to provide propulsion fuel for the U.S. government-owned stock with not available the variety of the commercial fuels to marine gas oil with the intermediate fuel oil with the 180 and intermediate fuel order 380 with a delivery methods barge pipeline tank truck with the provided owner of the bunker contract program. Ship bunker easy acquisition card or C card is the web of the base system and we use it in order to fuel under the bunker program. An order office responsibly ensure the order of the detail of the input with the C card system requirements of the bunker contract with the process of the single control point forward to the Defense of Logistic Energy with the contract administration. The direct delivery of the post camp and station contract transportation tenders. Defense Logistic Agency with the executive agent of the worldwide petroleum support that can establish the variety of the free of the board origin, designate directly with the post camp and station contracts, transportation tenders supported by the combat commander. Your host nation, the agreements that provide variety of the environmental services as well the Joint Force Command with expected to comply with the maximum extent with local laws and regulation. Use the wartime host nation support with the bulk petroleum infrastructure with the transportation. After that, ensure with the theater with the critical point with the inland petroleum deployment plan of the Joint Petroleum Office, Sub Area Petroleum Office must ensure with the component of the wherewithal of the wartime host nation support with the infrastructure that require the forward update with over the operational plan requirements for the request for the forward requirements for the contingency for the submitted with the timely manner. Each operational area contingency will have a unique procedure policy for the submission and approval of the wartime host nation support request of the Joint Petroleum Sub-Area Petroleum Office responsibly interface with the combat commander of the wartime host nation support agencies ensure that certain component requirements are submitted acted upon a timely manner during the additive contingency planning process with the key element of friendly information of the Joint Petroleum Office and the Sub-Area Petroleum Office serve the component of the fuel plan of the may acquire is the wartime host nation support bulk petroleum infrastructure distribution capabilities potentially could be dedicated to support U.S. forces leveraging dedicated with the war host nation support bulk petroleum infrastructure distributions capable of the Joint Petroleum Office Sub-Area Petroleum Office can be dedicated with finite organic tactic bulk petroleum asset over the area of the operational area with required technical level support for the host fuel requirements. The host nation can be provided with the Defense Logistic Agency energy international agreements offered with negotiation of the arrangement with the foreign government to cover the terms and conditions and prices. G. Fuel and storage support also provided with the commercial support of the foreign country with the U.S. military forces to have the contractor agreements for the routinely negotiated with the Defense Logistic Agency energy to provide fuel support with international air seaports to meet military requirements. Chapter 6, Principles of Bulk Water Purification, Storage, Distribution. Testing.